See, Craig is actually
Wow.
informing us that he's
Yeah.
recording. It's by design. He doesn't just record. He informs people about it. Anyway. Passing Grace, episode 7. We didn't pay the doubters. That's you, Yaz, who were saying that we're not going to reach 10 episodes, which we haven't yet, but we're
I
getting
was
there.
gonna say, wait, didn't you just say it's 7?
Yes, it's 7. Yeah, but a man can dream. A man can dream.
Now
I
when
would
I'm actually pushing you to do more,
be here every 2 weeks.
yes,
Oh,
to pushing
okay.
to publish this more
Right.
often, and
Right.
we're gonna reach that 10 episodes pretty soon.
Yeah, well, that's your way of doing it. Being annoying. I see. Yeah.
That's how I get people to join.
Nice. Nice.
Some
I
can
just-
confirm.
Oh yeah, something did change from the previous
It did? Oh, wow.
podcast. Yeah.
Oh, do the honors, Amaranth.
Should I just say that I'm now a proud member of Sparks?
Yay!
Can you hear the excitement in my voice?
Can you hear the excitement
so
in Spark's
sorry.
rating? There is none.
I did
Yeah.
I did warn you about it. It's not that we just used the whole freaking episode to talk about Sparks.
I
By the
mean,
way, you can say fucking. I mean, the podcast is marked as 18 plus, so
Also, you're not gonna do
the beep.
Yeah, like
No. I don't know if you noticed, but we're trying to do as less editing as possible because Amaranth doesn't like doing anything. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and just curse. Who cares at this point?
yeah, I mean, the previous episode about the recruitment was it touched me internally. It really touched me, so it made me have some decisions like that.
Wow. I think that was
It wasn't some constant whisper. Are you joining? Are you joining? Are you joining?
No, because
oh,
because
that would be poaching though.
yeah.
But we don't
And-
use that word. It's we can beep that one.
It's forbidden.
Also,
It's forbidden.
if
We can beep that one.
If we open this fully, it's actually Dele's fault.
Of course.
Mm.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
I have proof.
Definitely.
Voice chat proof.
Definitely.
Oh no.
Does.
Oh no!
Does.
I didn't ask his consent for that, so
Well,
I cannot
yeah,
use
there
it.
you go. There you go.
See?
You don't have my consent, so you can't use the proof.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about that? You're screwed now. All right. Since we talked about recruiting,
Yes.
and since Amaranth recently joined Sparks,
Fell for it.
what?
What?
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, you fell for it. You know.
Mhm.
True. And he has still to understand your extremely complex
It's been 2 weeks already.
looting system.
Wait.
We thought that'd be a good idea to talk about looting systems. So, you're going to hear a lot of personal opinions. Well, mine. That would be pretty much maybe ignorant, but, I'm fine with it. I don't care. So why don't we start off by having Yaz explain what the EPGP looting system actually is? And please, Yaz, treat us and all those who are listening like 5-year-olds, okay?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Explain
do
it
that. Well,
like we're 5.
well, as you know, I am the GM of the Spark, so I'm really used to that.
No, really?
She treats us like that all the time.
No, I meant that you behave. No, sorry. Yes, let's talk
Wow.
about EPGP.
Tight ship. Wow. I respect that.
Before we go to select only one of the loot. Oh, or do you want to open up all the stuff? Because I made a calculations earlier.
Oh wow.
This time I'm prepared for this.
We're scientific now. Yeah.
Yes. Since we're not discussing usually about the Alliance server, so I didn't include them. And this is these are calculated from the Horde guilds that have their recruitment post up at this very moment on the server Discord. Because
Oh, cool.
there wouldn't be time enough for me to poke everyone in the guild in the game, so I used the server Discord for that. And the awesome web page that actually lists all these and makes it so much easier to check when the guilds are raiding and what they're recruiting and what the loot systems are. So kudos for that. There is one guild that is using Suicide Kings. And then there is 3 guilds using this list or personal loot list or main spec, off spec rolling. Then we have 6 guilds using soft reserve, DKP, and EPGP. And lastly, we have 7 guilds using the loot council.
Okay, so 7 guilds are using loot council. 6 are using either EPGP or SR or DKP.
Yeah, so there's in total of what is that? Shit. 18. Yes, I can calculate with my fingers. 18 guilds using soft reserve, DKP, and EPGP. Like 6 of the. How this is so hard now? 6 guilds are using soft reserve, 6 guilds are using DKP, and 6 are using EPGP.
Right. And what did you mention about Suicide Kings?
Only 1 guild is using Suicide.
What is this?
Wait, are you asking what it is?
Yeah.
I am not that familiar with that, but I have understood that it's similar to DKP.
Okay. All right. Okay. So a lot of guilds are using either some sort of point system.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So what is EPGP?
So, how simple answer do you want as a 5-year-old?
Yeah. Talk to me in bananas and apples.
I was going to talk about lollipops, but it's fine.
Lollipops. Yeah, that's cool.
So, when you join to the raid, you get, let's say, 3 lollipops. If you have, like, all the guilds are defining themselves the rules of what they require in order to get this amount of EPs. And those
EPs
can
are
be
the lollipops.
EPs are the lollipops, yes. Those are effort points. So easily effort points means when you put this effort, you get the points, right? That's pretty simple. And then the GP comes from gear points. So you get the EPs. Usually the guilds give those from using flasks and being ready at the set time for the raid, that kind of stuff. And then you also get the EPs from every time you kill the boss. Usually it is all the other bosses except 1 or 2 end bosses. They give the same amount, and then the end bosses or end boss gives you 2 points or 5 points extra. So that's your effort points, where that comes from. So killing the bosses and being somewhat prepared, maybe having flask or gems or enchants or whatever the guild requires you to have in order to get the EPs.
Can I stop you to ask a question, or do you
Yes.
want to? Okay, so how did you call it? EP is
EP?
like Effort points. Effort points. Cool.
Yeah.
So effort points, the first half of the EPGP are based on like personal stuff that you do, right?
Mhm. Yep.
For the raid.
Yep.
So my question is, why are boss skills in this calculation?
I think that I would say that the boss skills are the main base of the EPs, but because that would be so low that then people give the effort points as an extra, kind of like. I remember that back in the classic when AQ opened, they gave EP points for people who joined to these the buck farming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So the first half is, like you said, effort points, which you get. The requirements are different based on
Mhm.
what guild defines as an effort point, I guess. But
Yep.
normally they're pots and being on time and
Yep.
killing bosses and whatnot. What about the other half, the GP?
That comes from the gear that you receive. So that is the gear points. That is when every time when you win an item, you pay for that with the lollipops.
Okay, so you wait. So you pay for the item with EP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
No. That's kind of not correct because.
uh-huh.
Okay, is this where it comes complicated? So the
Mhm.
EP
You don't say, yeah.
with the EP GP you get prio points. That is EP equals slash GP. What is the word for the slash in mathematics? Divided.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So those 2 points, when they are
Yeah.
divided, that is your priority point. And the higher in the priority you are, then you will get the item.
So
So
you divide EP by GP? Is
yes,
that what you're saying?
yes,
You get priority, I guess.
yes.
And how do you get GP again?
From buying an item.
And how
Well,
do you
like
buy the
getting
item?
by pressing a button, and then if you're on the top priority, then you will get that.
Oh, so basically the more GP you have, the less priority you have, right?
Sorry?
The more GP you have, the lower on the priority list you would be, right?
Yeah,
Or
basically yes, but then the difference between the DKP and the EPGB is that EPGB is supposed to be preventing for the hoarding the points, and that's also why EPGBs are using the DK. I'm not sure how often they use the DK with the DKP. Is that the common thing? I'm not that familiar with the DKP.
okay, I have another question. How how long does it take for a new recruit at Sparks to actually understand that system?
Usually it
Amaranth.
doesn't.
How long? Because I have yet to actually understand what's going on. But
Do you also want to tell what you just received from the raid yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I got an item that most people wanted. It was considered as my beast, so
okay,
it
how
was
did you get that item?
it was probably because I mean I didn't really get it either. How I had such priority over other raiders, but it was probably because of the EP and the gear points that I didn't have received yet in
Yes.
Sparks. So that's how I was so high on the priority list.
Yes.
So
That
it's
is true.
something that will keep everyone happy, even the old raiders or the new
Mhm.
guys that join in.
Yep. So the point with EPGB is pretty fair. Is The only memories I remember from being in a DKP guild is they took ages to get anything. And with the EPGP, it's more like I can't say if that is the thing with every guild, of course, but
Mhm.
when we have the 3 raid trial period, you will be the lowest prio during that time, but you still keep on getting all the points, like the EPs. But if you also get the gear that no one else wants and you need that, then you get the GP as well. So when you start the actual raiding, when you have passed your trial, you kind of have a possibility to get that one item because you are the highest on the prio. So that's like,
Mhm.
okay, welcome to the team. Let's get you some gear, and then, you know, it's always better to gear those up as well. No one would like to raid if you don't get any gear for 14 weeks. So when you get that, then you kind of go to the same level with the others.
Doesn't that though? I mean, I may not have. Well, probably I may not have understood this, completely. But um, doesn't that put the guild susceptible to people just coming in, getting the gear, and then getting out?
No, because
On
now
maybe only one item. So yeah.
because
Mm.
it's highly calculated by some of those officers that are better with math than I am.
Okay.
That we have the set DK and the cost of the items so that it goes that the new raider will get that one item, and then they will be in the same group kind of with the others as well.
Hmm. Do you feel like it helps with progression?
Yes, because if
Oh,
one person gets all the loot, that doesn't help with the rest.
oh yeah. So what you're saying is that with the EPGP, you can, you know,
It's kind of like just put all the people to the line. Oh, you got this item next. Oh, you got this next.
right. I see. I see.
But then there's also, of course, like we have said it, we're using the BIS list with the EPTB, so that
Uh-huh.
those people that have this item as a BIS, they will get the higher prior for that exact item instead of someone says, "Oh, it's just an upgrade for me for the next 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna swap that to another." That doesn't make any sense. So
Mhm.
we wanted to save those the items that are actually BIS for those that is a BIS.
Right. So have you adapted this system? I mean, is this how it generally works? I mean, you've already explained that, the EP part is like different for every guild, but have you adapted the system further to your guild and the guild's needs, or the only adaptation that you guys have done is the what the EP means for you, essentially?
That was a lot of questions.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you chop it
You're right.
down,
You're right.
please?
Yeah, basically. So what I'm thinking is, I was thinking while you were talking, I was thinking what would be the best system, the best loot system, right?
Hmm.
And
I can answer to that really easily. There's none.
yeah, true. There's none. But if there was one, it would probably be a system working as a base, and then that system being adapted to whatever the guild needs or does. So my question is, you have taken the EPGP system, which is a general system, I guess. It's not like something that you guys came up with.
Hmm.
And how did you adapt the EPGP system in your guild, if you have?
Um, we. Oh, okay. This is white stuff. So we. Well, as I said, we have the BIS list, so that's what we require from all the
Yeah.
raiders.
Okay.
So that is to protect the certain items. We also have the armor prio, which is so that again it kind of comes with the same BIS item stuff for, let's say, druids that then when they can only use the letter, it's not fair if a paladin comes and yoings that item from them. So we have
You
the
hear that, Amaranth?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah, he's half asleep, but yeah, go on.
and and then we also
Thank God I got my items before joining them.
All the cloth items, you bastard.
yeah, because we do have other people as well as paladins. You can use something else on the way, and then get when those people that cannot use anymore, like any higher stuff than the cloth, that they are first provided with those.
Oh.
Because it would be really annoying for if I would be a clothy and then there comes a paladin and I will use these gloves for a bit
It
because
would,
they are
wouldn't it?
upgrades.
Wouldn't it,
Because
Amaranth?
that same item might be the only one that they can have. When the paladin can have something else because they can use a plate.
Right.
Come on, I'm always passing for the others first.
So you're hoarding.
Wow.
Oh.
Mhm.
Mr. Pinocchio, you're never gonna be a real boy. You keep lying like that.
Mhm.
But that's
Tell me.
that's why we also have the bis upgrade and off spec buttons as well, and not just I want this
Right.
item.
Right.
I mean,
I
a good thing that I
Mhm.
just noticed from the EPGP so far in Sparks is like when you remember we've been around having SRs, we were having DKP. The EP is actually instead of getting a flat point of DKP or just
Yep.
let's say having double SR or triple SR or plus ones or anything, the
Mhm.
EP actually offers things that we've already said before about raid etiquette and stuff. You get
Mhm.
getting effort points for like being there on time or
Yep.
being
Mhm.
ready or just killing the boss that you've tried so hard is like the extra points that we were discussing that we would like to get from time to time.
Mhm. Yeah.
It feels good to get EP. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, now that I've actually understood what is going on, that's what it feels like. Is this why you think it's the fairest system, Yaz?
Yes. Well,
Right.
so since we have been up from the first days of Classic, we have kind of went through all the stuff, trying to find the best loot system that would work. We have even tried just soft reserving stuff. We
I
have
love
had.
stuff reserving, by the way.
I don't because I hate rolling and I never win with the rolling, so that's why we have EPGP.
But the adrenaline rush.
But yeah, that's really that's no.
No.
Like I have we
I've
have
never been a gambler.
we
Nice.
have a DPS / tank, and he would never get any loot if we would go by rolling. And that it's like no, that's not fair. If someone always, and we also have one that is winning every single role that he ever bids, and he has like 14 different characters, and he joins with them and just clears the loot table when we use the roles. So that would be really unfair.
Mhm.
Also, we wanted um to give something for those that want to join every single raid. You want to give something instead of those that join only once in 2 months. So that's where
Mhm.
the effort points are coming in.
Mhm.
We tried the loot council as well. That is kind of nice, but even when you have the setup items in your list and then the loot council decides that okay, these people will get the prior for these items, and then discussing about and voting during the loot, that's that it always ends up to a drama. Like, but I don't know if there's ever a situation where the loot couldn't cause any drama.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Did you ever have drama with the EPGP?
Yes. That's why I'm saying I don't think there's ever any loot system that would fit to everyone. Not just
Right.
for every guild, but for every raider, because there's always something that is unfair but other things. Like someone is keeping this stuff unfair, or they don't like this rule, or
Yeah. In the words of Asmongold, word the loot. It's
Yeah.
pretty important. So, if we were to make a list of pros and cons when it comes to the EPGP, you mentioned pros that it's fair. You've explained why. It also helps with progression as well due to item allocation, essentially, and loot allocation towards raid members. I mean, it's hard for one person to just hoard everything. And it helps new people get gear fast. What you actually said, like when they join the guild, they at least get one item for sure, so they get to feel rewarded. What about a con? Because I would put a con that it's complicated. So if somebody wanted to understand it like further, it might feel like too much, you know,
I think
or shady for some people. Maybe
I wouldn't call it shady because you can see everything.
right.
This the add-on that we use is actually, you did have a podcast with the creator of this add-on.
Yes. Shout out to CLM add-on creators. They were awesome guys. They talked about a lot of stuff that I didn't understand.
Yeah. And
Lantis,
we are actually
so good.
using their add-on, the core
Oh,
manager. Yes. So
Or
and
it's the
that
same?
so that is actually pretty cool because you can see everything that is going on. You can see your priority as well. If you take an item, you can see how that affects your standings, the priority.
right.
And everything is there. You can see, oh, I don't remember if this person got it or where did this loot go for. You can check everything from the logs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always updated. You have full access to check up the stuff, even when the officers are not there or the raid is not up. You can see that all the time. So that it's really a transparent system.
Is it called the CLM add-on? I think they
Yes.
changed the name. Oh,
It's
still
core.
called
It's
it?
not. It was classic loot manager, but it's core loot manager now.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So it's also transparent. Does it have any cons?
Mm,
Despite being hard to understand at first, I don't think there are many cons on this. I mean, it totally negates the lag factor
mhm.
for sure.
Uh-huh.
It's
Okay.
And also it's really easier to explain to new people when they join when you have the
Okay, so I'm stupid, right? That's where we're going with this.
when
right?
they have that open, then you can show them like, okay, this is what
Oh,
your
right, I
points
see.
are, and this is where this comes from, and this is how that shows in your PR. So it's more easy to actually show than just tell without you even like thinking about the numbers. And when we decided to go with the EPTB, I said like, well, I count with my fingers. I'm not good in math. I don't want to have any discussion about this. If you think that this works and this is the good one, we go with that. And I have never regretted that because the add-on calculates everything.
Right.
So I just hand over the loot and that's it. It's
Right.
so tricky and simple to use.
So EPGP 9 out of 10. Is that
Yes.
where we okay?
Oh yeah.
9 out of 10. All right. Amaranth, you want to talk about DKP? You've used DKP a lot in your raiding career.
Yeah, I mean,
Period.
DKP has been around for like ever.
Yeah.
Back then, when we didn't even have add-ons for that, we used to have a separate site that allocated the DKP, and
Right.
I don't know if they actually did it by hand or they had some sort of code that added them there. Plus, I haven't been using for example, in our last occasions with the DKP, in our
Mhm.
last guild, we didn't use the minus DKP at all. So, if you consider minus DKP, that it would be
Like paying in advance? Is that what you're
no. Minus DKP is the opposite of effort points.
Oh, I see.
Don't you remember when we said like the original meme about Onyxia, like who pulled the
Oh
welts and
yeah,
everything?
minus 50 DKP. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, because you used to get DKP for all kind of stuff, like EP, or probably just killing a boss, or maybe it was a flat number that you got every raid, like we did back
Uh-huh.
in Ray. And then some guilds implemented the minus DKP. So when people, maybe some more hardcore guilds, like when someone did a mistake or a hard
That's
mistake,
DKP.
yeah.
Yeah. What a legend.
But actually, DKP seems really like the most hoarding system of them all, and you know it. You've
Yes.
seen it. You've seen it happening.
Is it?
Don't you remember
mean-
that we were piling up on DKP, sitting on our little...
Not spending them, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. We were sitting on our little DKP throne, and when that one item that you wanted dropped, you were like, "Yeah, sure, I'll just get it. Yeah, fuck it."
Yeah.
Even the decay doesn't help on that kind of situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like DKP is a very simple system, so that would be a con for a pro rather for the system. But I feel like it's not working very well unless you make some sort of adaptation
Yeah,
when
exactly.
it comes to progress and allocating loot towards the entire raid properly, because people will not most likely will not waste their DKP to make a minor upgrade because they're hoarding for that big one. You're right. And also, big ticket items might go to the quote unquote wrong person just because they have, more DKP than the others. Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
hoarding, not taking loot, doesn't help the raid group.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Totally.
That's true. But it's very simple to use and it has been around for ages.
But yeah, just to add a little comparison to the EP system.
I have always seen these two as a DKP was something that the EPGP started with, but the EPGP is more advanced and fixed
Yeah.
version of the DKP.
Yeah, it's the evolved version. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
Just think of the little things, like what we said. You get EP for being there earlier on the intended time, right?
Mhm.
But you got the same DKP even if you just logged in half an hour later, or you just slept over it, like I did sometimes.
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So the EPGP just, treated you better with your raid etiquette, as we've mentioned.
Right.
It rewarded you with something, so DKP, it was just a flat number mostly.
Right. Should we give it a solid 5?
It's the base, actually, yeah. Let's give it a 5.
5 out of 10 for DKP. Okay. We should give like an 8 out of 10 to GDKP because gold. Maybe. Although it's the same system, but yeah. Because it's gold. Gold's important.
Who makes the
Can I-
prices, though? I mean, you've seen insane
The,
prices.
the market. The market. And
Yeah.
the need for the item, basically. What about soft reserves? I mean, you and me, Amaranth, we've used soft reserves a lot, and I've been using soft reserves now with the ogre achievers. I like it. I feel like it's very simple, very straightforward. There's like, it's easy both for the players and for the, let's say, officers or the management, because there's hardly any loot drama since it's essentially
Only
luck
luck.
based. Yeah. So it's easy for everybody. I mean, you can be, you can have this amazing run one night and get everything, like I did back in phase 1, where I got like 3 BIS items in one run. Or you can just get nothing for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. I like it because it's simple, really, but I feel like it's not a very good system when it comes to progression.
Exactly.
Without any adaptations to it. And
Do
it's
you remember the times that the new guy, a pug, just came in our phase 1 runs
and
just
got the sword or the dagger from Kel'Thuzad, dude.
yeah,
Come
do
on.
you remember that one?
Yeah, I do it.
That's
That's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. That if you don't have a full raid group and you're bugging constantly, SR's soft reserve system sucks.
Yeah.
Like it's the worst. Unless you implement some weird shit like soft reserve +1
Oh,
or
is this where we come to the hidden soft reserve?
What?
or yeah, unless you implement a hidden soft reserve and you don't tell anybody about it.
Yes, only when the loot
Yeah.
drops. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
we are using this rule.
Oh well, it's not like we didn't tell you. It's like you didn't ask,
You
so
didn't ask.
it's your problem, not ours.
Or where you hide some items that people can soft reserve.
Yeah. Or your friend bids on them, actually rolls on them, and then trades it to you. Yeah.
Oh, you
Anyway,
get +1. That's why you had +1.
yeah.
You can also have a hidden rule like everyone can roll and just pass that to another person.
Yeah.
That has happened as well.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I feel like it's very easy to use. I find it fun because I can just pay no mind. Everything is done automatically thanks to the add-on, and I either get something in my bag or I don't. I don't really care about it. Rip to the reign of the dead that I lost last week for a roll of 1. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like it sucks if you're pugging or if you have to pug. If
Don't you
you're a
think-
raid and you have to pug.
Let's say you've been using now as well in Ogre Achievers.
Yeah.
Let's say you lose 5 out of 5 items. What do you feel bad about?
I wouldn't really care, honestly. Because it's law of averages. If I lose like today, at some point it's going to even out. So I know that for a fact that it's going to happen. So no, I'm not going to feel bad. About
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But as you said, on progression, like when you get a new trial and everything, and they just roll for it. Because I know you, and you've been talking a lot about getting effort and rewarding the effort put in a raid. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. No, listen. In this situation with the Ogre Achievers, I can answer this 2 ways. In this situation with the Ogre Achievers, I was the trial. So it's not really fair for me to say anything about that because I was a trial. But when we were in the night court and we had a lot of people coming in that were either pugs or trials, and they actually had the chance to roll on items and get like maybe half the soft reserves that the raid group actually did have, or the guild raiders. And they would get the item. Yeah, it sucked because you knew that they're just gonna get the item and then leave the guild. So but this can happen with pretty much everybody. Back in phase 1, I was constantly salty about it, but then after a certain while, I thought about it, and it's like it can happen with anyone. I mean, you can have EPGP and have a person come in, raid with you guys for like a few weeks. They get some items, and then they decide to leave. You know what I mean?
That could happen as well.
Yeah, you can't fight that. But I must admit that it's worse when it's a roll rather than some points that you got and you spent them or whatever. It feels worse, honestly. I don't know. I'm gonna give soft reserve. I'm going to give soft reserves 2 points. I'm gonna give it like 2 out of 10 if you don't have a full raid group that you're constantly raiding with, and I'm gonna give it a solid 7. I would say
Yeah.
that sounds
7
fair.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree. I would say that the pros are with that being really easy to handle. Like I use that with my excursion runs.
Mm.
But we also used that when we had 2 raid teams, and we had the other team being like socials and alts. So it was really easy because we wanted them to not feel that they have to join to every raid. It was more like the social stuff. So
Mm.
in that cases, it works. But then you also ask, would you hate if you would lose a role 4 times in a row? Yes. But if I would lose the same item due my low PR points, that would be really different because I just hate my luck, and my luck is really bad in this game, especially. So
Okay.
that would like literally rip my pants because I lost due to fucking luck, not that I lost because of something else.
Right. It was out of your hands, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that sounds fair. It can take away the um how should
The
we call
random
that?
factor.
No, the not accountability, but like the player power. I don't know.
No.
There's a term for it. Like you don't feel like you're in control when it happens, you know?
Mhm.
You don't feel like there's anything that you could do. You cannot game it in any sort of way.
You just take the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Unless you like figure out what you can see what others are soft reserving, and you're like strategically not reserving the items that everyone is, and then going for the other ones. But you know, that's that's. I've been doing that, by the way. Hi guys from the Ogre Achievers, if you're actually listening to that. Maybe that's why I haven't gotten any upgrades. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out, I guess.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, eventually you're gonna be like 11 people rolling for the same item every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, like 2 soft reserves on it or whatever.
Mm.
And it's always that thing, like when you soft reserve the item 2 times, you're always going to lose it to someone who has soft reserved once. Like I don't know.
Exactly.
It's a low. Do you remember that guy, the main tech we had on?
Yeah, he reserved
the
4
night court?
times. The
Dude,
heroic Irish key.
the guy reserved heroic Iris key 4 times and lost all 4 rolls
Oh no.
It
to the
was
other guy 1
But
roll, man.
but we had
Crazy.
if I am not I'm not 100% sure. I think, but if I remember right, the let me see.
no,
Well, yeah,
the sound again. Yeah.
yeah, the
No,
silence.
I know
Uh,
this is
I'm
not
not. I'm
about
not
the lag.
cutting it. I'm not cutting it out yet.
I'm gonna make it fast. No, yeah, if I remember right,
Right.
when we did the cruel stuff in phase 1, we
Mhm.
had the soft reserve and rolling for the DST was not
What's
fun.
the DST?
That was a hunter.
Dragon spine.
Also, yeah, the
Oh, okay.
epic trinket for
Like a beast trinket for everybody.
hunters, yeah, and rogues, and basically everyone. So
All right. Okay. Last one. And it's one that I really like, and I feel like I mean, Yaz said that okay, there are no perfect systems, and I agree. Yaz believes that EPGP is the one that's closer to being perfect. I think that Loot Council is the one that's
ooh.
closer to being perfect. I think that's very even with what you described, if not better. Yeah, I feel like Loot Council in the right guild and with the right council, which would take like knowledge of every class essentially, right? To make accurate estimations over will this item be a bigger upgrade to that person or that person? I feel like if you get an environment that this works and everyone is okay with it, I feel like loot system is probably the best.
Have you ever felt like the trust for someone in the game that decides your fate over you?
That's a good question. Mm, can I take 5 on that one and think about it? Oh man, that's a good question. No, that's why. Not no, no. Let's be honest. No, but that's why I've been saying that. I just said that it needs the right environment. You know.
All the loot stuff will work if the atmosphere and raid yada is perfect, right? But that never
Yeah.
exists.
What Gas says, I believe that Loot Council is clearly the best in a long-term guild, but all it takes is one mistake once,
Yes.
only once mistake that happens with loot in the Loot Council, and it can just fall off instantly. It can even disband a raid, a guild, whatever.
Yeah.
Relationships, friendships,
And
everything.
that also requires a shit tons of knowledge and
Yeah.
comparement for people what they have, and dedication and trust for the people that you have in the council, because obviously I don't know how that works, but as far as I have understood, it's not only officers, but they also take someone from the guild.
Yeah. Usually they rotate a person.
Yes. Yeah. That's how we use it as well. And that again, if the raid team is really successful and they know what to do and they're top raiders and everything, then it works. But it requires a lot of knowledge
Right.
and not just like, oh, I want
So
this person to have that one.
yeah. So
And
it's in your mind, it's a system that it works better
this is the
the
drama.
better the players are or the guild is.
It's a bit
This is-
fragile, though.
This is drama stuff. Yeah. So skip that one item and someone is unhappy about it, and it will cause a huge blue drama.
You wouldn't even have your mother, George.
I mean, look, listen.
Look for you.
No. Listen, I look at guilds like Fusion. Okay,
Right?
they are extremely good players. I would trust the Fusion Loot Council to be like, you're not getting that item. He's getting that item. You know what I mean? I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, but you're talking about the guild that she's doing like 5 split runs, and they have geared their main raid in 2 weeks before.
Yeah, I
They're
probably
giving
wouldn't trust you and Yaz to do the loot. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm probably not gonna.
Why? Come on, I know that.
I know that you're gonna give items to me, so that's why I don't trust it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know that even after like how many years is it now? Is it 23, 22? I don't know how many years we know each other. You wouldn't even trust me to do it because you knew you were gonna wish for me the whole time before deciding
Definitely,
for the item.
definitely. If
Della
you
is
give
so
that item to
greedy
that
that
person,
he would want everything. Oh, this person did cast this one. I need that
Dude.
item.
Dude,
I would bust his balls day and night if you
Yep.
gave the item to the other person.
Del wouldn't be the guy that wanted everything for himself, but he would be the guy that always told me not to give it to a certain person. Anyone else, even disenchanted, but not to certain
Yes,
people.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I'm that kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get kicked by my current guild, aren't I? Oh,
Yeah, at
God.
least we're using APGP.
Well, if all else fails, I guess Yaz can poach me like she does with everyone else. I guess good work. So what are we giving Loot Council? Like
A 6.
6?
No.
Can we
I
give
would
it
go
a
with that as well. Sufferers are
6 is so low, dude. Can we do an 8? Because in the instances where it works, it really does work, you know?
but
Alright,
that
that
requires a lot.
yeah, that requires a lot of effort and
Because you said
coordination.
because you said about the EPGP that it's so easy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
I did
if that
use the.
if that stuff affects, then Loot Council shouldn't be 7 or 8 because that does require a lot of work.
Right.
And
Yeah.
in every phase as well, because you need to go through all the loot table that there is and check all these sims and everything, so that you can decide that okay, this person get this one and this one.
The real question is though, are we really crowning EPGP the king?
I'm sorry.
I mean,
If
we
you-
have 2 members of the Sparks here. I mean, come on. What am I gonna do, people? Like, I'm clearly cornered. We have to. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's a system that it's. I mean, I'm talking about EPGP, that there has been some thought, behind it. So it has, because of that thought, it has managed to, plug a lot of holes that usually exist with any loot system.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if you consider that, as you said, how he has advanced the EPGP in Sparks, imagine that EPGP seems like a combination of loot systems. I mean, if you don't add the human touch, it could even involve a loot council in the EPGP, right?
Hmm.
But if you don't want to involve the human touch almost at all, except the BIS list that Yaz has implemented in Sparks, it's the only thing that it's handpicked. Everything else is done by the points you get and the add-on. It seems pretty fair to me.
Right. So a 6 to loot council and a 9, I guess, to EPGP. Can we give EPGP an 8? Because a 9 feels too much. I don't know. And my one problem with it is that it sounds a little bit complicated when you get in the first time, and you're like, are they scamming me in a way? At least I am, because I don't trust anybody. But yeah, I mean, are they trying to scam my ass here? What's going on? Why is suddenly everything so complicated?
No, in all honesty, after 2 weeks and after getting an item last night, which I didn't do anything,
Man, they bribed you. Just say it.
yeah, maybe, but
Admit it.
He didn't join to the guild asking for one item to be reserved for him. I know some people might do that, and that's a big no.
That's me, by the way. I would do that. I would easily do that.
yep.
Hands down, like easily.
I'm sorry for calling you out.
Easily, dude.
I mean, I came prepared. That's why I geared up so much before joining an EPGP guild. So I didn't need to get items till I get 5 months to understand the system.
Yeah, let's see what this tomfoolery is. I got the items that I need. Okay, let's see how it works. All right. Yaz, you're the more experienced of the 3 in the in the ins and outs of the server. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm going somewhere. Do you feel like, because I've been saying this a lot on on threads that are complaint threads, basically, right? Not just on Mirage Raceway, but like on Goalmag as well and More Grain, because yes, I do go over those as well, just read all the drama.
We know it's okay.
Yeah, by the way, I should say that Goalmag has the best what's it called?
Drama.
The best not drama. The best list forum out of
Oh yeah, I know.
It's really well done. Gehenna's has the worst. Easy, hands down. Anyway, I've been seeing this a lot. There seems to be something, a majority of people that believe that there is a certain system, and it's well known, or it should be well known, that pugs use. Is that true? Because I've seen it a
Sorry.
lot. Like,
I'm really sorry. What did you say?
yeah, you lost me. So a lot of people seem to believe that there's a certain system that pugs use, and that's it, and you should know it. Like, it's a soft reserve +1.
Oh yeah.
Main spec, off spec. That's the system. You should know it. You shouldn't ask, or you shouldn't have any questions about it, because this is the system. I mean, it's common knowledge. Is that true?
I really rarely do pugs, so
Oh yeah, you don't pug. You're the wrong person to ask that question.
Yeah, that's the thing. I do pugs, but I'm the one who's organizing them, so I'm not usually joining to anyone else.
I mean, I'd
Right.
prefer SR over MS off spec any day on a pug.
Right. What's the difference that you can soft reserve the item?
At least you know that you have higher chances for one item, you know, that other people might not. Because in MS soft spec, I don't know if you get the +1s or not in the pugs. But imagine someone rolling on everything. So on SR, you know that you have a bit of a higher chance to at least get one item that you need.
Right. Okay. So EPGP wins everyone.
Yay.
Mhm.
Yay!
Okay.
See, it's 2 against 1, Dele. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, but I guess it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it.
The best thing about the podcast so far is that every time we start a discussion, Del has a specific point that changes throughout the discussion. That's what I love mostly.
I'm easy to influence. What can I say? I'm very easy to influence.
It was the same with the tokens.
Yeah.
He got so
Dude.
depressed.
Yeah. What a night.
So
Fuck
Dele,
was it?
as
Yeah.
a representative,
That guy. Yeah.
That's me.
oh my god, as a no, this is a new word.
Is it invulnerability again?
This is invulnerable.
Representative.
Representative. Yes,
Yeah.
as you are the representative
Yes.
for 5-year-olds.
Yes, that's me. That sounds weird, but yeah, sure.
So after we talking about these loot systems tonight, and
Right.
I tried to explain the like really simply easy way, the EPGP, not going too deep with that.
I would
You
go
still
for
think
I would go for a soft reserve system. You know why?
it's still complicated. So what is the main?
No. It's not about it's not the complicated part. It's just that I would choose the soft reserve system because it's like, hey, you didn't get the item. Well, tough shit. You know, tough luck. Better luck next time. You know what I mean? It's easy when you have the guild. When you're the player and you're constantly getting fucked by Lady Luck like week after week after week. I know it sucks, but you got to remember the law of averages works. At some point, you're gonna win. So just hold on to that thought. You know?
Maybe 2 phases later, but you will win.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Time is relative. I don't know. I would still choose soft reserve, dude. Yeah. I would. Although it did sound I do have to admit that EPGP sounded like the best of like every other system, you know? We take a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
And we got that recorded.
Yeah. and a sprinkle of load council,
Mhm.
and everything. All right.
And with the
Um,
EP chip, it's really easy to modify as well because with this add-on, um, you can decide the cost for each item, or you can decide the cost for each slot, or you can decide the amount of the EP to get from each boss skill, for example.
mm,
So it is really adjustable for your own guild's needs. And you can decide how much the DK you gave, or you don't give the DK, or whatever. So I kind of like the variety of what this system provides you with the soft reserve. It's only like, well, win or lose, roll better next time.
would you recommend it to a newly formed guild that doesn't have much experience?
The mm, well, if they are, let's say, if they are, how would I put that? If they are willing to set the stuff, it's pretty easy to set up for like the automated stuff. Everything
Mhm.
comes with what is the word, like the basic settings, let's put it that way. So
Right.
if you don't want to set any mm,
Parameters.
you don't need to change anything. It's just download the add-on and you're good to go. So unless you want to fiddle with something, then you can do that as well. So I would say don't be afraid of like using that. It might sound or look really complicated add-on, but it's kind of easy to use after a while.
I mean, the
And the
add-on
system
isn't really complicated.
and the system itself
It's
is
the
very
system that's complicated, not the add-on. But yeah.
But yeah, I would I think I would still use that because if when you start the guilds, you would still have people that have the gear and those that may not have the gear yet, and all the other, yeah, you might have those that are not able to put all the effort, and those that are there only once a week or whatever. There's always a difference of how much effort the people are willing to put to the guild and to the raiding. And I feel like it's a teamwork as the rating is, so you should be rewarded and not being on the same line with someone who doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. It seems like everyone is catered for. So EPGP gets Delbilfine seal of approval. Feel free to use it
Yay!
in your guild. Congrats to whoever designed the system. I approve of it. And that's the only approval you need, by the way. So yeah.
Mhm.
This is a good ending.
So we were once again
Yeah.
we're ending the stream when we were able to convince your opinion to something else than
See?
you had at the
See?
beginning.
See, start having some, there's some method to whatever it is that we're doing. Yeah, there's a method to this madness, I guess.
It's one of those nights. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's say good night to everybody. This is where you say good night, everybody.
Good
In
night,
unison.
everyone.
I mean, you want to have Yaz's sweet voice instead of mine. So
All right. We'll see you on the 8th episode again. We don't know what that topic would be.
After 2 weeks. Yes.
After 2 weeks, yes, right on schedule. It only
It-
happened once.
It is now.
Get off my back about
I
it.
need to edit again.
It's now recorded, so I have proof of you.
Yes, it is. That's true. This is going to be uploaded, and you're probably on the 23rd or 4th of July. The next one's going to be 2 weeks after that. We do not know the topic yet. We'll see what we got cooking. Who knows? Good
That's
night.
what-
Have
yes.
fun.